And we're now getting footage of course, President Moon Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un attending this luncheon. Let's, if we take a look at their expressions, I still feel President Moon Jae-in's expression is perhaps a little more muted than when they met the previous two times, of course in April and in May.
You seem very skeptical, Jang-ho. Very great.
I'm not sure skeptical is right, but I'm just explaining what I'm seeing.
Remember, this is not his turf. Mr. Kim Jong-un is on his own turf. That's why he feels so familiar with everything, the people and the street. But Mr. Moon, President Moon, it's quite natural for him to feel a little bit unfamiliar with all the things around him.
Because, I mean, when the two leaders met in April, I mean, there was the signing, even the signing felt very different. There was lots of smiles, big hugs, and a raising of hands like they were cheering. But this time it was very much formal, very much handshakes, and even an awkward goodbye at the end when they left the room separately. I don't know, maybe I am being skeptical, Lee Ji-won, but that's just what I'm seeing. But yes, so here we are, the footage. I guess they're about to be served with the naengmyeon cold noodles. That's also the President Moon Jae-in's wife. While the two leaders were having their meeting, I understand the wives were doing a different activity. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, Jang-ho. Well, in fact, we thought Lee Cheol-ju was also accompanying South Korean First Lady Kim Jong-suk today, but that is not what I heard. The South Korea's First Lady Kim Jong-suk and the other South Korean delegates, they visited Mangyongdae School Children's Palace, and that's an institution for extracurricular activities such as music, foreign languages, taekwondo, and sports. And that is also where our former South Korean President Kim Dae-jung and his First Lady Lee Hee-ho visited back in 2000 to watch a performance on their second day.
So that's, again, yes, where Kim Dae-jung, the former president, went in the year 2000. That was the first inter-Korean summit ever between the two Koreas, and also the first time in Pyongyang. Dr. Kim, I just wanted to ask you, looking back at today's and yesterday's events, we are very much reminded of Kim Dae-jung's visits as well. There were lots of familiarities, lots of, shall I say, echoes of what happened back then. How do you view this? Do you see a lot of similarities, or are there really startling differences that you think we should take note of?
I would say the fundamentals remain the same, but there are a lot of different pictures, different atmosphere we are watching over the 2 days, because this is all broadcast live as opposed to kind of filmed before and then released later. But this kind of shows that Mr. Kim's confidence that everything can be exposed and we are pretty much accessible to the outside world. We have this much confidence, and I'm full control of the North Korean society, and most North Korean residents, as they call the Pyongyang citizens, are in support of my grand design to, denuclearize and ameliorating the relations with South Korea and stopping all these hostile activities along the MDL. So this is a sign of a very strong confidence in himself and his people who are supporting him, including Kim Yo-jong. Again, just for a 3-day summit meeting, this is a highly condensed schedule. If you look at all the schedule, one itinerary, one by one, they're going to see the watch again, the mass game in the May 5th stadium again, even though it would be a different version, is modified version, I would say, because they don't want to irritate the United States and South Korea as well. Because we are all watching what's going to happen at the mass game tonight. And also tomorrow morning they're going to fly to the Mount Pakdu using a very different type, because most South Korean tourists are using the different routes from the Chinese side. But this time it will be a North Korean route, and that will allow many potential South Korean tourists or mountain climbers someday later, and they're going to use this particular route rather than Chinese one.
So we're seeing pictures finally of the famous cold noodles called naengmyeon, and the Pyeongyang naengmyeon, more specifically the North Korean style naengmyeon. And it does look very pretty, the presentation. I actually wanted to ask you as well, have you tried Pyeongyang naengmyeon before?
Well, I've tried it in South Korea, but I was never able to go to North Korea, so I never tried one there. But I heard the one in North Korea is even more bland than it is in South Korea, because normally the North Korean cold noodles in compared to the ones in South Korea, are already bland. So I'm not sure what it would taste like in
Yes, of course. I mean, the North Korean cold noodles are famous for being what South Koreans might conceive as bland. But I think, Dr. Kim, you might have a different opinion to that. Would you call it bland, or would you call it a more required taste, shall we say?
I think it's a good blend because they know how South Koreans develop their taste over the years, and they are really like trying to satisfy our taste. I mean, that's why it's a kind of blend. You see, because it's not it's on a hot summer day, but they are just really enjoying the cold noodle because the blend is so.
I wouldn't. I mean, I've not tried it myself, but from what others have told me about the Pyeongyang cold noodles, I wouldn't call it bland. I think the term I'd use is perhaps more subtle, and more. Yes, there's the more you try it, the more a taste you develop for it. President Moon Jae-in has been taking some scenic photos there of I think it's the outside balcony of the restaurant.